you summarize the current state of the European social space? What are the key challenges and recent transformations?
I think there are several issues. Of course, it all depends where you are looking for or from, and the questions change. When if you are looking the European social space from let's say Athens, I think their problems are quite different than the problems we experience, let's say, in London, and so in that sense there are multiple problems or experiences at the moment, and some of them are related with the economic crisis, as in Greece, but then we had also riots in London in August. So we are trying to come to terms with that kind of social problems. But some of these issues, of course, go across borders in Europe. In terms of the crisis in Athens, it's the issue of how do we relate to the Greeks and the troubles they are going through. Are there social links that can actually support Greeks in that particularly difficult moment? So that would be my answer. It's very difficult to come up with one set of experiences.
And how do you think this crisis will affect the level of tolerance towards multiculturalism in Europe?
Well, it clearly has influenced some of the European leaders' view of multiculturalism, like UK's Prime Minister Cameron talking about multiculturalism hasn't worked. And I hope people don't have the same view of the problem, because in some ways crisis should not create second thoughts about who we live with, because I'm not quite sure whether the crises are about our neighbours and their making. So in some ways, rather than creating an isolationist view of culture, societies, relations, we have to think more about friendship, solidarity and hospitality.
And finally, what do you think are the prospects for European enlargement in the future, and how will that affect the social space?
It depends. I mean, in some ways, I think we usually talk about expansion in relation to countries from which we already have people living in Europe. So most of these societies are not foreigners to Europe. So I don't quite see it would actually change much of the social engagement. It might add to it, it might become much richer, but I don't think it will create big tensions.
Thank you very much.